Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I am going to show you how to book ferry tickets in Greece and what to do when there's no ferry that will take you to the island or the mainland that you need to get to. Let's get started. My name is Tony Kariotis. I've traveled all around Greece, over 50 of the islands and counting, and you may know me on social media as @IamGreece. I also am @Greece on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm here to give you all the information that I can give you about travel around Greece, how to plan the perfect trip, and all the hidden gems that come with it for you to have a memorable trip. So let's get this episode started. Alright, so let's get started. We want to book ferry tickets to all the islands, back to the mainland. We want to hop around everywhere in Greece. We want to plan an island hop. So we get started by going to this website, Ferryhopper.com. I have a link in my bio that'll take you right to it. I have a link in the description that'll take you right to it. And let's get started. So one sample itinerary, the most basic, quick route we can do. We'll start off in Athens. Some of you may say, oh no, isn't it Piraeus? Well, what you want to always do is put Athens, because there's 3 ports out of Athens. There's Piraeus, there's Rafina, and there's Lavrio. Sometimes, most of the time, you're going to be coming out of Piraeus, but there's going to be those times where the only route is out of Rafina or Lavrio, and you can just take a cab there and hop on the boat and you're off and sailing. So you always want to put Athens, just so you're not limiting the options. And most common route, I'd say one of the most common routes is Mykonos. So we'll start super simple, and we'll put it right in the heart of the summer. Let's go July 2nd, and we'll go with. I'll show you what it's like with a car. It's pretty simple, and for those that aren't going to be using a car, you just ignore that part. So hit search. Now, the database is going to bring us up with all the options you have that day. And you can see there's tons starting at 7 o'clock, going all the way down to 5:30 p.m. And they range from about 2.5 hours to 4.5 hours. And then it's just up to you. There's different price points. The slower routes are going to cost less. The fast routes are going to cost more. For a route like this, you're not worrying about cabins or anything like that. It's a pretty quick route. So 52 euros is going to get you there in about 4.5 hours. About 90 euros is going to get you there in about 2.5 hours. If you're not in a hurry and you want to get there at 11:30, you can save yourself 35 euros and just hop on the Blue Star. It's that simple. You just press continue. You punch in I'm adult, and then you have this. Seat options. Short. It's 4 hours, somewhat short in my opinion, but it's not an hour ride, so you might want a more comfortable seat, because sometimes the salon seats really fill up and you're going to be struggling to find. So they have really large airplane style seats that are very comfortable. And you can see here, for only 5 euros more, you can have yourself one. Anytime you see numbered seat, you expect them to have a nice comfortable airplane style seat. The business seats, I believe this is just access to the lounge. I don't think that one's really worth it unless you just want the peace of mind of knowing that it's pretty quiet in there. Otherwise, if you just want to go sit outside and enjoy the views the entire way, just get a deck seat. Or, I don't recommend for this route, but if you ever are on a route that's over 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, explore the cabin options. They're not much more. For only $31, you can get yourself a bed and sleep. And if you're taking an overnight boat, that is the best way to save, because you're not paying for a hotel. You're just paying for your cabin on a ferry, and you're waking up on the island you want to be on, or back in Athens. So we have here, if you want to book the entire room, have a 1-bed cabin. It's basically like a little studio. That one's a bit pricier, 124 euros. However, if you don't mind splitting a room with others, you can have a bed in a 4-bed cabin for 83 euros. or you can have a bed in a 2-bed cabin for about 96 euros. And if you're traveling with a friend, you can book the entire room. So if you were getting 2 tickets, you just get this entire cabin. If you were getting 4 tickets, you would get one of these entire cabins. For this particular route, we're just gonna go with economy. There's a lot to do in these boats. You can walk around, have breakfast, and you'll find plenty of seats. Then over here, you come to the car. If you rent like a small hatchback for your trip, or a standard size car, just put small car. If you have a C's Miles account, you press this and you punch your loyalty number in. This will save you, especially when you're having you have cars. It doesn't really give you discounts on the regular ticket, but it will discount you for putting a car on. I'll turn it off for now. I'm going to view prices, and you'll see that your regular ticket's $52, bringing the car is $120. If you're only going there for a couple of days, I wouldn't recommend that, because it's going to be another $120 to bring it back. However, if you have C's Miles and you put your number in, that will lower this 120 part to about 85 euros. So you'll save about almost 40 euros, 35 euros there. And just like that, press proceed booking, put your info, first name, last name, date of birth, nationality. Here's one part that people get nervous on, because you don't know your license plate number, especially for a rental. Don't sweat it. It even tells you here, just put rent 123, rent 123, and that's more than enough. They don't check your license plate when they check the ticket. Contact, and then over here, Ferryhopper just has a few questions and some add-on services. You can ticket flexibility, if you the chance you can be moving some things around. For the most part, some of these you can do, some of them you will have change fees, so if you're concerned about that, maybe get that. I usually just risk it. Sometimes I bite the bullet, but for the most part, if you ask for the change ahead of time, you'll be okay. Here, if you want Ferryhopper support, if you're just hopping over to Mykonos or to one of the islands, I don't think this is necessarily needed. If you have like a family trip with cars and cabins, maybe then you want that priority service. But if it's just you or a couple people just hopping onto a boat, you probably don't need that. Here, you just need this one you need to check off, and then it's as simple as giving your credit card number. So let's backtrack and show you a bit more complex situations. That one was a bit easier. So now we want to go to an island that, let's pick a random island. Let's say we want to go to Olegandros. And we want to go on the second, and we want to bring a car. So let's see what happens here. Alright, so here there is a ticket. Now you want to always look here. There's these 3 are really important indicators. This will tell you that if the ferry allows vehicles. This one will tell you if it has cabins, and this one will tell you if there's electronic tickets that you can add to your Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, as a digital ticket that they can scan. This is 6 hours. Sea-Jets never really has cabins. That's more of a Blue Star thing. This is somewhat of a long ride, especially for a Sea-Jet. But not for Blue Star. Blue Stars, I've been on a Blue Star that's got 15 hours, so that's nothing. But we do know that this does allow cars, which is great. So, however, let's see if I wanted to go in third. Can they do? Let's see if we can go on a fourth. We do. The fifth. We do. Alright, it looks like they've improved and now make it daily. I remember this as 3 times a week, best. Alright, our language is on the map. All right, let's try something a little bit more difficult. How about a Nafi? I bet you guys never heard of that place. And we'll start on the first, and we're bringing a car. All right, Blue Star. Okay, so they have one, 8 hours. Has fits cars, has cabins, and a digital ticket. Perfect. It's a bit long. You get in at 2 a.m. So if you don't have, you probably need to book your hotel for the day before and let them know you're getting in really late. Let's check on the second. Okay, so no trips found. So this is something you might run into a lot when you're searching, especially when you're doing like unique searches. But don't worry, there's always possibilities. So down here, check for alternative routes with connections. No trips. Okay, so impossible in the second. The third. Okay, so here is a possibility. Here are your connections. It'll take a while, but as expected, it looks like you can go from Athens to Santorini, and then potentially you have a bit of a wait there, and then from there you take a short ferry. Sometimes the connection is short, just depends on when you get in, because it looks like the one from Santorini leaves around 4 o'clock every day, so as long as you get in somewhere close to that, otherwise you hang out in Santorini, which isn't terrible. Now, let me show you. All right, so let's say I want to book this ticket and I want to get a car there. I want obviously a cabin because this is really long. So let's go search. I think we have the Blue Star. That'll get us there at 2 in the morning. So we're gonna hit continue. Continue. I'm gonna put that I want a cabin. So we're gonna go with, we'll get it with the window, have a view. Put a car, let's verify prices. So pretty expensive, 220 euros, 128 just for the car, 92 for the ticket with the cabin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch in my Seas miles, and I'm gonna put that in there. And now we're gonna check prices. Okay, it's saving me 40 euros. So the discount's about 40 euros. Proceed to booking, put my name, date of birth, nationality. I'll put the classic rent, 1, 2, 3 in the car, put my email, phone number, and just like that, done. Now, let's show you island hopping, the best feature on this site. So you come here and you click over to island hopping. And we're gonna do, for simplicity purposes, we'll go with a very common route. So we'll start off Mykonos. We'll go Santorini. No, we'll go Paros since it's closer. Then we'll go Santorini. Then we need to get back to Athens. So then we want to go, let's just make it 2 days each. And for this, we will not bring a car because that's gonna get really expensive. And boom, just like that. Now we have all of our options. So Athens to Mykonos, I can pick from all of these. What I'm gonna do now is let's find the best deal. Let's taking a few things into consideration. You want to get there at a reasonable time to enjoy the day. I think your best deal. All right, so this looks good, but it's at a Rafina. That's going to cost you a lot to get to with a cab. So we want to limit it to Piraeus. I think this is the best. No, it's 6 hours. Right here, best deal. So for 52 euros, I'm going to take the 7:15, get there right at noon, and great. Now let's move on. Mykonos to Paros, very short route. You're only going to mainly find sea jets here as they zip around the islands all summer long. Now it's about, you don't want to get there too early because you want to make sure you can get to your hotel and check in, and I don't think you need to rush out of each island. So I'd say something like a 12:45 is perfect. You know what? I'll go 12:15 and save almost €7. Boom. Next, Paros to Santorini. This one can range a lot in time. As you can see, the express jet, 1 hour and 20, and the super jet's 4:40. Super jet probably has a lot of stops and probably just goes a tad slower. 60 euros, but you gotta catch a 7:30. I don't want to recommend that. I think the best time to leave each day is around noon. So I'd say, here we go, 3 o'clock. Let's get to Santorini at 3:47.70. And then last but not least, we need to get back to the mainland. And I think your best deal, that's too long of a ride. Let's go with this one. And just like that, for 232 euros, I have tickets from Athens to Mykonos, Mykonos to Paros, Paros to Santorini, Santorini to Piraeus, all in one transaction. I put my info here. I choose, for the first one, we're gonna go with a numbered seat. The second one, you're not gonna do any of that. You're gonna get the cheapest one because you're literally 45 minutes. By the time you sit down anywhere, you're already gonna get back up. Here, I would say the same, just enjoy the views for 1.5 hours. Here, I would try to get some comfort for 40. So I would say go with just a numbered seat. All right, few prices, they'll change a tad. 237, and then same stuff. Put your name, your email, choose if you want any of these ticket protections, agree, and pay. So, another feature. Actually, another key point. You might say, well, I heard Zakynthos, Kefalonia, Corfu, they're all pretty amazing, so I want to go to Zakynthos. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, from Athens or anywhere in the Aegean, you cannot get there by ferry. No ferries cross over to the west coast. I know you might say, well, there's the canal, why not? It'll be a really, really long route, and they just don't do it. So your only option to get there is to fly, take a bus, or drive to the west coast to a town called Kyllini, and from there you can pick up a ticket to Zakynthos. So if I just type in Kyllini, you'll see here, boom, Zakynthos. And it's a very short route once you get there, and it's probably a really inexpensive ticket as well. Yeah, 13 euros, 1 hour and 15 minutes. You don't even need any special seats in this. It's a really comfortable ferry. And just like that, you're on the west coast. Yeah, you had to make a long drive, but you got to drive across Greece. Not bad. Or fly. Now, if I'm on Zakynthos and I want to go to Kefalonia, really simple. Just go all ports, search, and usually a daily route. There we go. 13 euros, 3-hour ride. If you do have a car with you, the convenience of going to a place like Lefkada after. So if you drove to Kyllini, put the car on, and then let's say you made your next stop Lefkada. The cool thing about going to Lefkada is you don't need to take a ferry out of Lefkada, because that has a bridge to the mainland, and then you could just zip right across the country again to get back to Athens in about 3 hours or so, 3-4 hours. So Zakynthos to Lefkada, it's a bit of a long ride. However, once you're there, that's the last ferry you need to take before you head back to Athens. So now you might say, well, I want to leave, I want to be in Naxos, but then I want to go to Rhodes. Well, crazy as that sounds, two very popular islands, not that easy. The ferries do not do inter-region routes very often. There are very few available. Getting from the Kyklades to the bottom of the Kinis is nearly impossible. Getting to the northern Aegean islands, not really easy. To the Sporades, not easy. The Saronic, you need to be coming out of Athens for the Saronic. If you want to go to a place like Skathos, or anything like that. You need to drive up drive up of mainland Greece and pick up near Volos or Ionikolo, and you can take a boat there. And from there, you cannot connect with other regions in the Aegean. However, people might say, well, Naxos and Rhodes are really popular. Why not? Well, you can come here and you can keep pressing this button and you will never find a route. But you can do this. Check for alternative options. And what it's going to most likely do is send you back to Athens. So Naxos, Piraeus, Rhodes. If you can do that, might as well just fly. However, occasionally there are some places around the island groups that do connect you with different regions. So you can't connect with any island can't just send you to any region. You have to, for specific parts, if you piece it together correctly, like this will give you the recommendation: Naxos to Siros, an hour and a half, wait 5 hours, and then take a 9-hour boat to Rhodes. So it is possible. One example of piecing it together that I did last summer, I was in Crete, and I needed to get to Tinos for a day, I needed to get to Ikaria for a day, and then I needed to end up in Rhodes. That is insane. However, what I did was, I came here, I typed in Crete, I typed in Tinos, and you will see that there is no connection. Nothing. However, right here, what you can do is from Crete to Naxos, 3.5 hours, or from Crete to Mykonos for 4.5 hours, same thing. And then from there, you only got a 45-minute wait, and then you take a 30-minute ferry. So I was able to make that connection. Then I needed to get from Tinos to Ikaria, and there's only one island that'll take you to Ikaria, and that island is Mykonos. From the Kyklades. Other islands, yes, if you're near it, but if you're in the Kyklades, you need to get to Mykonos. So what I did was Tinos, Mykonos, only 20-minute ride, short layover, and then from Mykonos, in 2 hours, I'm in Ikaria. Then, what I needed to do was Ikaria to Rhodes. This is a long ride. You just need to find the right date. There is a route. There's a Blue Star. I believe it's once a week. And I was lucky enough to get it. There we go. All right, 11 hours. You guys are probably like, that's insane. Well, here's my number one tip I give to all travelers. If you can find an 8 p.m., 9 p.m. ferry, it doesn't matter how long it takes. They're going to range 8 to 10 hours because they're going to get you there at 7. They'd rather get you there at 7 than at 4 in the morning. They design the route to get you there a bit later, so you're not getting off a ferry at 4:45 in the morning. 7:35 is a perfect time to get in for overnight. Yeah, you might need to hang out in the town for a bit until the hotel lets you check in, but most hotels will at least let you drop your stuff off. So here, what I did was 8:20, you get on the ferry. These go by quick. 11 hours go by fast. 8:20, you can go have a meal, enjoy the view as the sun's coming down, go to your cabin, pass out, and then wake up at 6:30, grab your stuff, go downstairs, they'll be docking, and you're in Rhodes. So that's what I did, and I basically zipped from Crete into the Kyklades, across to the Northern Aegean, and then to the very bottom of the Dodecanese. So it is possible. All you got to do is just use a site like this. It'll show you all possible routes, and if it doesn't have a route, it'll tell you that. Like if I type in Athens and I type in Zakynthos, it literally just shadows it out. It's not possible. If I want to go Athens to, I don't know, I'm gonna give you another one, Corfu. Not possible. They're in gray. Let's say I'm in Thessaloniki and I want to get down into into the Cyclades. You might say, is that possible? I believe it is, but you may need to do some connecting. No, sorry, Thessaloniki to Mykonos is not possible. However, what you can do is you could do, the best way to search this is to go northern Greece, because there's a few ports in northern Greece, and then put Mykonos, because what it'll do, it'll probably connect you to a place like Ikaria. But trust me, these are very long. Don't do these. These are the 20-hour routes. Oh, I saw something. Yeah, look at this. So Kavala. Oh, it's telling you to go to Athens. It's telling you to go to Athens. Not worth it. Not worth it. But I have seen a route, for instance, northern Greece to Ikaria. I've seen this route happen before. Yep, here we go. Kavala to Ikaria, 20 hours and 40 minutes. But it's only 40 euros. And they're giving you a full day. That's impressively cheap. That is impressively cheap. And then from there, you can catch a 2-hour ferry to Mykonos. So you can get into the Cyclades. That pretty much covers how to use this app. There's a link in the description to head over to Ferryhopper, search all your routes. If there's a route that's just not possible, I did say in the intro that I'll give you some ideas of how to make it possible. The first one that comes to mind is see if there's an airport. If there's no airport and it's an island, like a quieter island, like for instance the Nafi off of Legendros, one of the small islands in the Dodecanese, your options can be, if you absolutely need to get there, there are some potential options. There's helicopters. It's gonna start getting expensive, but if you have to get there, helicopters, you can charter a boat. Other than that, if there's no airport, you really can't. You just have to be flexible in your dates. But there are some helicopter services now. There's smaller airplane services that are popping up in Greece now. And I can send you more info on that. Just shoot me a message if you're stuck and can't find a way to get somewhere, but you absolutely need to get there. And that covers it. That's Ferryhopper. This is the best way to book your tickets. And they make it really easy. I just type in, so I want to go to Athens, I want to go to Ikaria, and I want to go to Kalymnos. That's where I'm from, so I want to go see some family. Then I want to come back I want to go finish things off in Paros. This doesn't look realistic, this connection. I think these can happen, but a quick search and we will see if we can make this happen. Let's see. All right, so I can do this part. And then we need alternate options for Ikaria Kalymnos. It's telling me to go to Patmos. Not terrible. Lucky. It's not terrible, it's just a really long layover. How about if I pushed it a day? Boom. Alright, 4.5 hours, possible. And then Kalymnos to Paros. This is not a realistic connection. This, I don't think this ever existed, but let's see. Alternate routes. Probably gonna tell me to go to Syros. Nah, it's telling me to go to Athens. Alright, can't go to Paros. But there you have it. That's how to use ferryhopper.com, the easiest platform to book ferry tickets in Greece. Use my link below and start booking your incredible trip around the Greek islands. So, I hope that helped, and we will talk to you again on the next episode. Happy sailing. So, there you have it. The best way to sail around the Greek islands is use ferryhopper.com. Punch in where you want to go, and it can literally help you plan your trip. It'll show you the days that you can do it, the days that you cannot. If you're open to long routes, you can check for connections, and if not, head back to Athens, hop on an airplane to get to where you need to get to, or other options can be private charters, helicopters, smaller plane companies, if it's an absolute must to get somewhere. That covers it. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Hope this helped, and happy sailing. We'll talk to you again on the next episode.